People who met the love of their life online, did things work out? I went on a Hinge date with a boy that was visiting my city for a week. The date went really well. We like the same movies, music, have the same perspectives, and are generally pretty compatible. Because I knew he was just visiting, I went into this date hoping to make a new friend and keep things casual. He told me he's not looking for anything long-term either, so it seemed like we were on the same page. At the end of our date, he ended up bringing me over to the Airbnb he was staying at and hooked up. He says something along the lines of, "I'm really scared of hurting someone this nice." I wasn't attached to him at this point, so I laughed and ignored it, thinking I'd go home tomorrow morning and go our separate ways. Except that's not what happened. He ended up inviting me to accompany him the next day of his trip in my city. We get coffee, go to a museum, hike to the beach, and get dinner. We walk along the bay, get a drink, and watch the sunset. That night, I slept over again and we're talking about our lives and he's asking me really deep questions. I asked him what he's doing tomorrow and he said he wants to go to the zoo, but that he'd probably do that alone because he doesn't want to get too attached to me. I laughed and teased him saying that he likes me. To which he replies, "I really could." The next day, he ends up taking me to go to the zoo anyway and buys us matching shirts. It was a really good time. We make lofty travel plans for the future. The entire time I'm just learning more and more things that I like about him. It's a Saturday at this point, just 3 days after we had initially met. I knew he was driving back up to his city tomorrow, so I was aware that this was likely our last day together. I remember him finally driving me home after, thinking to myself, I really don't want to leave him. Eventually, he parks in my neighborhood to drop me off and says, "You know, if you were coming to my city earlier, I would have driven you up with me." To which I reply, "Let's do it." I tell him I'll cancel my flight and drive up with him. He checks his calendar just to make sure and gives me the okay. I go home, pack my bags when all of a sudden he calls me wanting to clear some things up before I commit to spending more time with him. He mentions that his parents are very opposed to him dating a non-Chinese partner. And that we can't be falling in love because he really sees a long-term friendship with me. I'm sad hearing this, but decided that it would be fun regardless. I hadn't realized my feelings at this point yet, either. I stayed with him again that night so we could leave in the morning. On Sunday, he drives me 550 miles up the coast with stops in random cities to explore. I usually hate road trips, but I have never been so happy to be sitting in a car with someone for 12+ hours. We get to his place in his city and go to sleep. The next morning, he gave me the keys to his place so that I could go out in the city and do what I had initially planned to do during my own trip. Then come back to be with him whenever I am free. This was the routine for 10 more days. I slept over every night. We watched movies and ate dinner together. He'd take me out and show me around his city. At this point, I hadn't spent a night without him since we met. This was easily the best partnership I have ever been in. I have never met someone I was so compatible with so quickly. I had never been so comfortable with anyone before in my life. He was so attentive, caring, emotionally supportive, and kind. He paid for everything, told his friends about me, and would stay up late just to talk to me. We established exclusivity while I'm in his city. We were hooking up constantly, several times a day. He tells me how much he likes me, how compatible we are, how strange and rare it is we met in the circumstances we did. He worked really hard to make me happy. I truly felt like I was in love. I told him this. He tells me again that we can't be together because of his parents and that I can't like him. I cry and he comforts me. I don't ask him anymore. For the rest of the trip, I pretend like everything is fine for the sake of being delusional. After I left his city, we had no contact. This isn't a surprise to me since I told him I'm going to need time and that I'm not the type of person who texts and keeps up with people long distance anyway. He said okay. However, 2 weeks after leaving each other, he removed me from Find My Friends. Then hid his Instagram stories from me. He said he wanted to continue being friends, but it feels less and less like that every day. In fact, I think he's seeing someone new. I want to continue holding the time we spent together near and dear to my heart because it really was special to me. I can't imagine seeing anyone new yet. I don't think I'm ready. At the same time, I can't help but feel betrayed. I wonder if he felt that our time was special too, or if it was just all in my head. I can't help but wonder if I was just someone that made him feel less lonely or if he used. All my friends told me that if he really liked me he would have made it work despite his parents. I can't help but hold empathy for him as it seems like it's a decision he made a long time ago. Still, despite everything, I wonder if it was just a lame excuse because he didn't care about me that much or like me enough. The fact that he's already found someone new and is hiding things from me just solidifies this feeling. Obviously, I'm still heartbroken and devastated, but I don't want to hate him. I still hold him in such high regard. We only knew each other for 2 weeks, but I felt like we knew each other before. I don't want to believe in the possibility that he could have been playing me the entire time because I truly felt like he liked me too. But all my friends are telling me that I was wronged and deserve so much better. I feel stuck.
I'm engaged to my online date that I met 5 years ago. Online dating can work if you can put the hard work into it.